Jeremiah A. Wright. The doors of the church are open. To the Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony, Hester Wheeler, Donnell White, Robert Shoemake, Marvin Beatty, Evelyn Case, to all of the board members, to the biggest, the baddest, and best chapter of the Naacp in the United States, the Detroit chapter, to members of our church who have driven over from Chicago to be with us, to my wife, Rhema, who is with us, and to my daughter, Jerry, one of 4 daughters who is with us. I thank you for this high honor to be with you at the Detroit branch of the National Association of Advancement for Colored People 53rd Annual Fight for Freedom Fund Dinner. I need to say before we begin, Hiram Jackson, Roland Martin, and Soledad O'Brien, please see Jerry as we're rushing to the plane. We have a plane to catch on our way to the Samuel the Red Proctor Conference in Washington, D.C., legislative days being held starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. The Naacp has an incomparable record. It has the longest list of achievements in the history of this country as being the undisputed champion in the fight against discrimination, racial prejudice, and unjust public policies, which have caused people made in the image of God to be treated as less than human or treated as second-class citizens. In its early days, the Naacp and the black church in the United States of America were seemingly joined at the hip in the fight against injustice and the fight for equality on behalf of all people of color. Many local chapters of the Naacp were started in black churches, hundreds of black churches. The Naacp's fight for justice and freedom, however, is not limited to the concerns of the black church historically or contemporaneously. And when the truth is told, as Paula Giddings does so powerfully in her book, When and Where I Enter, there were times when the Naacp had to drag some timid black preachers along, kicking and screaming, as in the Montgomery bus boycott, designed by the Naacp, not the SCLC. Throughout its 99-year history, the Naacp has been built by people of all races, all nationalities, and all faiths on one primary premise, which is that all men and women are created equal. The nation's oldest civil rights organization has changed America's history. Despite violence, intimidation, and hostile government policies, the Naacp and its grassroots membership have persevered. Now somebody, please tell the Oakland County executive that sentence starting with the words, despite violence, intimidation, and hostile government policies, is a direct quote from the NAACP's profile in Courage. It didn't come from Jeremiah Wright. Otherwise, he will attribute the quote to me and continue to say that I am one of the most divisive people he has ever heard speak when he's never heard me speak. And just to help him out, I am not one of the most divisive. Tell him the word is descriptive. I describe the conditions in this country. Conditions divide, not my description. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
You can't say amen, you're too mad to say ouch. The NAACP is nonpartisan. The NAACP is not beholden to, controlled by, or partial to any one faith tradition. The NAACP says proudly that it is a compound of people of all races, all nationalities, and all faiths. And it is for that reason that I am especially grateful to Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony and the Detroit branch of the NAACP for honoring me by having me address their 2008 theme, A Change is Going to Come.
Change gonna come.
One of your city's political analysts says in print that first, just my appearance here in Detroit will be polarizing. Well, I'm not here for political reasons. I am not a politician. I know that fact will surprise many of you because many in the corporate-owned media have made it seem as if I have announced that I'm running for the Oval Office. I am not running for the Oval Office. I've been running for Jesus
for the Lord.
a long time. And I'm not
tired yet. That's right.
I am sorry. Your local political analysts and your neighboring county executive think my being here is polarizing and my sermons are divisive, but I'm not here to address an analyst's opinion or a county executive's point of view. I am here to address your 2008 theme, and I stand here as one representative of the African American religious tradition which works in concert with other faith traditions, believing as we work together that a change is going to come. On that point, about other faith traditions, in addition to Pastor Anthony, Pastor Nicholas Hood, Pastor Charles Adams, Pastor William Reveley, Pastor James Perkins, Pastor Wilma Rudolph, Pastor Holly, who's suffering from a stroke, Father Michael Flager, Father Jeremy Tobin, Pastor D.D. Coleman, Dr. Georgia Hill, and Reverend Lonnie Peake. I would also like to thank Sister Melanie Maran, the former executive director of the Chicago chapter of the American Jewish Committee and the current executive director of the Washington, D.C. chapter of the American Jewish Committee. I would like to thank my good friend and Jewish author, Tim Wise, for his support, and I would like to offer a special shukran to Imam Muhammad Ali Ilahi of the Islamic House of Wisdom in Dearborn Heights for his courage, his conviction, and his support. The support of the Jewish community, the Muslim community, and the Christian community, Protestant and Catholic, is in concert with the credo of the NAACP and a definite sign that a change is definitely going to come. An additional special thank you is offered to Soledad O'Brien for CNN's outstanding Black in America and my long-term friend Roland Martin. I believe that a change is going to come.